I would like to start by thanking this lovely panel of ladies who accepted ECS's invitation to have this session. ECS, the symbol is right behind us, okay, is the abbreviation for the Egyptian Center for Economic Studies. It's a research NGO that was established back in the 90s, okay. It's a non-profit organization. It is policy-oriented. It focuses on economic policy, okay, and its strategic direction is very clear. Its strategic direction is to combine economic growth with social justice, because this is the only way we can achieve sustainable development. If we have growth and we don't have justice, then we have benefits that go to only few people. If you have justice and no growth, then we're spreading poverty. So the idea is to have both of them and achieve sustainable development. The focus of this research center is not to do theoretical research like a typical economic center, but rather to be policy-oriented and solve problems. One of the important pillars that we are working on, okay, is related to entrepreneurship and women, and this is the theme for our session. Before I forget, it's very important that I introduce Yara. Stand up, Yara. Yara is an economist. She's the smallest one here, and Chairwoman was wondering who's that girl? Well, she's an economist with a master's degree. Very proud of her. She's one out of 20 economists that we have at ECS, and she's here to help with this session. Okay? Like I said, one of the pillars is entrepreneurship and women. We do a lot of talking about entrepreneurship. We do a lot of talking about women. Okay? The idea of this session is not to talk about problems or talk about individual success stories, but rather take it to the next level and explore the reasons behind the success or behind the failure, because the aim is to fix the problems. Okay? If we have a success, we want to scale it up. If we have a failure, we want it to disappear. And this means policy changes, legal changes, institutional framework changes, okay? And the problems of Egypt, most of you know the ones that are from Egypt, okay? But there is the rest of the world, and the rest of the world is quite big, and it has huge experiences. And the idea behind this session is to benefit from the experience of the rest of the world in the solution, okay? No one from this panel is going to talk about an individual experience or a minor success story, but rather something, okay, that actually solved the problem and managed to scale up benefits, okay? So we have the two objectives are to focus on the legal institutional issues, okay, that improves entrepreneurship of women and takes it up to a higher level. And the second objective is to spot the light on programs, okay, that were very successful in certain countries that we can repeat in our part of the world. And the interest is not just Egypt, but also the rest of it. We have 2 hours. We are starting right now 12:30. I hope you're going to be patient with us for 2 hours. We are starting this session by having the panel introduce themselves. Each one of the lovely ladies have 1 minute and not more to say the most important things about herself. Please.
Good afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon, ladies. It's indeed a pleasure to be Can you hear me now? Yes. Good afternoon, ladies. It's indeed a pleasure to be part of the 5th Conference for Women for Success, International Conference and Entrepreneurial Retreat. Thank you, Yogna, for having me here. It's indeed been extremely a learning experience. And I have this. A little bit about myself. I've been a serial entrepreneur all my life. I'm 68 years old today. And I have also had the privilege of leading one of the oldest chambers of industry and commerce in India, which is known as the Picky Ladies Organization. And I am now the the beauty of this industries chamber is it was started by Mahatma Gandhi, who has very close links with Africa. So that is something which is very, very dear to all of us. And at present, I am also representing the Asia Pacific Chambers of Commerce and Industry, which has its headquarters in Taiwan. We are a membership of 27 primary countries, starting right up from Austria, Russia in the north, and right down to Australia. And we are headquartered in Taiwan, and it's a very, very vibrant organization. It's a non-political organization, and we work for the businesses and the growth of the businesses of the region. 12 years ago, we started a women's division in this chamber also, and I am representing the women entrepreneurs and the growth of the women entrepreneurs of this region. So it's very interesting for me because I have always been a serial entrepreneur. My family business is in trading, and we do paper, printing and writing papers, but my passion has always been the craft and the hereditary knowledge that India has to offer, particularly in the field of textiles. So that's where my expertise and my focus has always been. So I have always worked at the grassroots levels, and that's where the major knowledge lies.
We agreed before we come that we're going to be very open about the time without insensitivity.
My name is Feryal Nass. First of all, I'd like to thank Dr. Abla for inviting us in this panel, the ECS. My name is Feryal Nass. I am the chairwoman of Bahrain Businesswomen organization, and I am the vice chairman of ASEAN Bahrain Council. I am also a board member in the Entrepreneurship organization. It's an international organization, and we do have a chapter in Bahrain. And I'm also a board member in the Bahrain Feryal Charity Society. We do have a family business, which is the construction, which is Nass group, and I am part of this group as well. I do work in this family business, but this didn't stop me or stop my passion of being an entrepreneur. So I started my business 18 years ago, apart from the family business, which is design district and furniture manufacturing and woodwork. And this is all about me, and thank you very much.
Good morning, and thank you for all being here today. I'm very pleased to have met so many, and some I haven't met, and I look forward to meeting you all. Thank you, Alhurra, for the organization of this event, and I am on my way out of the OECD, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, which is an intergovernmental organization that has established in order to support better policies for better lives, that's their slogan, principally for the members of the organization that are the democratic market economies. No African country is part of it, but we have also over the last 10 years, involved in multiple regional dialogues and programs, and including the MENA OECD Competitiveness program was set up in 2005. I've been heading that for some time. Within that program, I specialized in gender and anti-corruption/integrity. And so I am looking at policies that support better women's economic empowerment.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Abda, for this. My name is Reem Badran from Jordan, and I'll brief just about the history of why am I here today. I started my career in the government. I was the head of the Jordan Investment Commission, which is a government body leading the investment environment in the country. I stayed there for 10 years. Afterwards, I joined the private sector, and for a lot of people in Jordan, were really surprised why you leave the government, why you're still at that level. And I thought it's good to be also in the private sector. And I joined one of the Kuwaiti companies that was newly established in Jordan, Kharafi Group, and I was a CEO, and we did a lot of projects in Jordan, public-private partnership. And then I wanted to start my own company, and that's where I am here today, Alhurra Company for Business Development. I wanted to run for elections for Chambers of Commerce. I was the first person in Jordan to run for elections, and I won. I got the highest votes then. And I was the only female. Actually on the board of the Chamber of Commerce in Jordan and in Amman. To everyone that have support of the lovely Jordanian ladies as well in the elections. And then I ran for the parliament because I thought in the chamber it was not yet enough to be involved more in the legal restructuring, which we are going to be talking a little bit later on. And I ran for elections in 2010. I stayed there for one term as well. And later on I ran again for elections in the chamber. And now I have my own company. I'm the chair of some of the public shareholding companies in the country in real estate, in pharmaceutical manufacturing, and also involved in the financial sector. And also I'm the chairperson, I would like to talk to the ladies in Africa as well. I'm the chairperson of the Jordan Africa Business Association, which we look into other non-traditional markets to export. I would like to thank you all for this opportunity.
Good afternoon, I'm Patricia Becker, and I think I have to clear something out first. I am not Egyptian. All of you who approach me in Arabic language. I'm Dutch, I'm from Amsterdam, and I'm half Indonesian. Maybe that's John around. I'm the co-founder and chief catalyst at FutureWomenX, and that is a global platform where we guide top women like yourself and female business leaders on 3 levels. As your trusted advisor, we curate personal boards for you, and we challenge you to be future makers in the female leadership programs that we conduct all over the world. One of the programs I'm honored to be a business case in this panel that will come later. And I came to this idea of building this company because I had a corporate refugee. I had leadership roles in corporate life for 25 years, and I managed to escape and set up my own business. And the driver for that was to pay forward what I missed myself in that position. Who could I call at 6:30 in the morning when I was in my car? And I thought, who has the audacity to give me feedback, because I need it now. And by the way, 6:30, and by the way, he was brave enough, and by the time I was in my office already, and I used that as the most important driver to get my business. I started on my own. I didn't want to work for companies, I wanted to work for her. So that's 10 years later, and I have partners in New York and Cape Town and Dubai, and I will network with other women we work with. But most importantly, we work with amazing women all over the world, and there are alumni, and everything we build for them is based on what they need. So we try to stay relevant for their whole career. So that is a challenge, as you can imagine, but we love the challenge. So that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Celia Gates and I come from the UK, and I have to say, when I arrived at the airport, thank you so much for organising everything, to a little banner that said Celia Gates, Women for Success. I sort of went, oh, Women for Success, I quite like that. And so before we go too far, can we just acknowledge one thing? We're here today, all of us, because we are women for success. We are successful. Give yourself a pat on the back. Say congratulations to your neighbour and feel that success for just a little minute. We take it for granted too easily and we put ourselves down. I have to say, my background is in industrial design. I'm an inventor. I've won numerous invention awards. And inventors spend money. Entrepreneurs make money. So I'm also on that journey of learning to become a better entrepreneur. And I feel like I'm really pioneering new ground as such. That's what innovation is. It's a navigation of the unknown. And yesterday, actually, when Suzanne was generous enough to share openly her problem with us, one of the things that occurred to me was that it was in that not knowing, in that not being able to control what would happen should you digitise. And I urge everybody to just become more comfortable with not knowing. The more we know, the more we realise how little we actually understand. So that's where I'm at now, having been slashing new ground as such and trying my hardest to leave a trail behind me, stopping on the road every now and again to put some hieroglyphics down, if you like, so other people can follow, to write a couple of books from my experience for the purpose of other people to learn. I'm currently had the luxury a few years ago of spending time thinking about what I was going to invest my time in next. And actually any investment we make in an idea, the greatest one of it all is that of our precious time. So if I was going to solve a problem, and all inventions are born out of problems, it had to be a serious one. And the biggest problem I could understand that was facing the Western world was that of our mindset. So I'm pioneering a new way to collaborate, to use creative and critical thinking simultaneously under a banner called the Global Brainstorm. Thank you.
And we're talking about and you're talking about being the inventors who pay money, the entrepreneurs receive money. The whole game is how to move from innovation to entrepreneurship. Because entrepreneurship takes the idea and the innovation and makes a business model out of it. Okay? And this is where all the troubles are. Let me introduce myself as well at the end. My name is Abdul. I'm the Executive Director of the ECS. Okay? I'm also chairing the Economic Advisory Board President. One of the things that I'm very proud of in life is that I was one of the 50 people that wrote the Constitution. We were 5 women out of 50. I was representing the Egyptian Federation for Industry. So we were representing the I'm sure it's not by obligation. It's a nice feeling. It's a nice feeling. All right. Let us start right now our discussion. One of the most important issues that are always raised as big problem is the issue of finance. Okay? And how it's very difficult for women in particular to find finance as they start a project. The problem comes at different levels and at different stages of the project, obviously. But starting a project is usually the hardest. Okay? And it becomes harder the poorer the women, the closer they are to rural areas, it becomes harder. Okay? It's a problem that we're all facing in our countries. We're coming up with little programs here and there. Using international experience, we can benefit from programs that have worked well and that can help us scale up.